Hi. Um, I've tried this so many times. This is so awkward. In my head, it's the first of a bunch, and in my head, maybe more than just the people that know me are on here. So, for those that don't know me, my name is Nicole Smith, and I have been Mark's widow since September 25th, 2020. I prefer writing. But 4 months ago, I kind of got slammed into hermitude, and after 50,000 words, I'm still not even half done saying what I want to. And I feel like every book has a book jacket. So, like, at some point, you have to say, like, come on, surely you can say something in 10 minutes. I just feel like by the time we get through 10 minutes of talking, it's just going to be more questions than answers. And when they get answered, when you leave people with more questions than answers, they fill in the answers for themselves. So my silence for the last 2 years has most definitely left people filling in the blanks. The particular comment that sent me into a very busy state of writing and a very quiet state as far as interacting with people go, was about me suffering Stockholm Syndrome and the illusions of excessive codependency, among other things. So I had to think about how I'm presenting myself, because I know there's no way he's alone in his opinion. I think it's a very strange thing to look at a widow and tell her that she only thought she loved. Because that's what we're saying when we're saying somebody's codependent. If it's toxic, it's you don't know. You don't know love. You have an illusion of love. You're busy sacrificing to somebody who doesn't deserve it. That's what we're saying, right? You're sacrificing too much of yourself for the wrong person. Stockholm Syndrome, along the same lines. I'm basically being chastised for looking at Mark's whys and giving a shit about them. So then, for all the talk that I've made about how much he changed in 2018 from a complete sociopath, yes he was, to velvet come to life, to like just gentle, like in a way I didn't know a man could be gentle and still strong. It was to the point he was completely irreconcilable. I'd look at him and say, you can't possibly be capable of the things he used to. He was two completely different people. And I wonder, did you miss it when I said that? Or did you not believe it? I share the concerns. At the end of the day, I wouldn't advocate for a woman staying in the circumstances that I did. If you're living in a felt reality that your partner might kill you, you shouldn't stay in that felt reality. And you can't be okay mentally to stay in that felt reality. Not to just keep taking it. Like, come on. Now I wouldn't take it. Now I don't take it. Okay, so was he capable of change? Yes, he was. Did he change? Yes, he did. Was he worth any sacrifice that I made? Yes, he was. Like, what are we talking about? I say I love him and you say, no, you didn't? Or no, you shouldn't have? Or yes, but too much? Because my identity is wrapped up in him now, right? You're gonna have to explain to me, somebody, what's wrong with that? And her mom, when a mom kisses her babe for the last time, she stopped being a mom after that? When you bury your father, do you stop being a daughter? So what the fuck are you doing telling me to stop feeling like a wife? You want me to treat him like he's in the land of the dead, and he's not. He's in the land of the living. He's more alive than we are. And you gotta start asking why. You got one side of the Rubik's Cube. You're looking at one side and you're saying sacrificial love like this can't exist, so it must be warped. No. He sacrificed more than I did. And the best love is a sacrificial love, where you completely trade desires with one another, where their first thought is for your heart's concerns and your heart's concerns is for their heart's concerns. And so neither really ever has to worry about their own heart so much, because you've left it with somebody you trusted with. What's wrong with that? He loved me on a level I didn't know you could love somebody. And that changed me. A little over a year before he died, he bought me a dress. It's in the corner and I can't move the camera. Everything will get wrecked and then I'll have to start the whole thing over. He bought me this dress and it was the only thing he'd ever bought me as far as clothing goes. And it was perfect and it was white linen and I knew what he was saying with it. And I'm on this cruise ship and it's the only one I'm ever going to take with him, and it's seeing parts of the world I'll never see again. I mean, I don't think. And as I'm watching my dreams go by while we're on the boat, and I'm just grabbing drinks for him and I to go back to the cabin with, because he was too sick to really leave the room much. Nothing in the world mattered. Except for that man in my bed. None of it. Like, none of it. And I was just shocked at how great my love for him was and how much it could make everything else pale in comparison. And all I could think was, oh my God. Like, we're one heart now. What am I gonna do when half my heart's in heaven? Who the fuck am I gonna be when half of my heart's in heaven? And I felt so clearly the Lord saying just one word, whole. Come on, that doesn't make sense. Oh. He meant the day Mark died. And he meant it. It's... I've been so embarrassed. So I'm ashamed of that. But while the rest of the world around me was just like caving in from the weight of his death, I was just raising higher and higher with him. I wondered for so long what it was going to feel like to feel like that ripping and that tearing when his body was finally gone. Like over 1,000 days that I'd spent panicking, leaving him for longer in a minute, longer than I had to. I tried to keep things 45 minutes or less before I hit the panic button, sometimes a couple hours, but that was it. Unless I was drunk, making a mess of myself. Different story, different day. I lost my train of thought, and then I went down a funny trail in my head. I'm sorry. I did all my grieving with him. And nobody wants to believe me when I say that. I had to hide my joy. At least I thought I did. Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. I don't know. I was just trying to give room for grief for everybody else. I go work in the end of life doula industry for almost a year. Yeah, I was a poser. I don't know grief. I know anticipatory grief. I know ambiguous loss. I was so attached to his soul. I'm more connected to that than I'm torn from his body. Do you see why I can't just summarize? I just wish someone would believe me when I say that, like, I'm at the end of where the grieving process is supposed to be. We'd spent so many hours together. And the day he died, like, God, what am I going to do with myself? All this time, all this love with nowhere to go. You just said love me. Love didn't have nowhere to go. There's always room. There's always someone that needs it. since day one, I can look on pictures and audio and video with more love than pain. It's always been like that. Do I tell too many stories? I don't know. I like them. Also, it's all I have of him right now. I mean, outside of imagining what he's doing and other stuff that doesn't fit into my rambles tonight, but it's been like this since day one. It's like God handed me an eternal watch and said, okay, 40 more years. Well, 39 I'm hoping. But what is that in eternity? Honestly, it's nothing. It's nothing but an honor to be his widow for 39 years. And you say I'm crazy and I could still find love again. You know what? I heard a good man. My first husband was a good man. And he still is. He's not dead. I can't do that to somebody else. Let them love me more than I love them. That wasn't fair the first time around. If I'd known better, that wouldn't have happened. Also in the book. That's only half written. She who's forgiven much loves much. It's that. How do I know I can't love anybody again as much as I loved him? Because I know too much to let you hurt me like I let him hurt me. I'm too whole, too healed for that to happen again. I'm fairly decisive now when it comes to boundaries. It's about respect, not love. That's a whole nother thing. But, oh my word, I'm rambling. I have so much I want to tell you. It really is, it's gonna take too long, and it's the story I'm in love with. Sure, Mark. Yes, of course, Mark, but not sad. Not sad. Only 40 years. And then eternity. It's a drop in the bucket. I wish I didn't have to do them all in a row sometimes, but I think it'd be harder if you popped in now and again. That's all I have to pay for forever. The love that comes on the other side of forgiveness is extraordinary. The lessons learned at end of life, if someone is so gracious as to let you actually in, are beautiful and life-changing. I imagine it looks selfish from the outside, and that's what I've been struggling with in large part. I don't know how to share him in such a way as to take anybody's burden away. I don't know. There's a different and a better way to do love than we've been doing. I don't regret. I'm not regretting, and so I'm not making, I don't know. I think